Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's Jane here, founder of Little Voices, and I'm going to be interviewing one of our franchisees. So I'm just waiting for her to see that we're live and to try and join the video. So might take a couple of minutes. Morning, Millie. Nice to see you. How are you? It's Friday. I'm going to be interviewing one of our franchisees. Oh, my sister's on here as well, Claire. Somebody else, I don't know, sorry, your first name, but hi, nice to see you. Please let me know who you are. It's Franchise Friday, and I'm going to be interviewing one of our franchisees this morning. Her name is Alison. She's a new franchisee into Little Voices, and she's based in the Manchester area. So I'm hoping that she's going to see this video going live and try and request to join it. So let me see if I can find her and add her. Looking at everybody, I'm going to invite to join, and we'll see if she's able to add herself into the video. I hope you're having a good morning. The weather's not great, is it? Really grey and miserable and dark. So yeah, not a nice Friday.
Hi. Hi, good morning.
Morning, are you scared?
No, but I was trying to join on my laptop so everybody had a better angle of me, but it's not working, so I'm on my phone.
That's fine. Phones normally do the job, but it's like when you're trying to comment on social media, it's so much easier to do it on your phone, isn't it?
Yeah, it really, really is. So yeah, apologies if everyone's got a close-up up my nose or something.
Well, you look very beautiful. Thank you for joining me on this very miserable Friday. Morning, Hayley. Hayley says, good morning, you beautiful ladies. Good morning to Hayley.
Morning.
It's our Franchise Friday, Alison, and I threw you into this challenge and said, will you join me on the second one that I do? So thank you for doing it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
It's going to be an interesting chat. Be relaxed. I've got my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And we're just going to chat all about you. And I think we'll start with the journey, really, because I think that's really interesting to find out a bit of your background. So I know that you were a parent of a young girl and you were just on social media and you stumbled across Little Voices. Were you looking for something, or did it literally just pop up and interest you?
Yeah, so it was just before COVID, actually. I was looking for singing lessons for my little girl, and I found Little Voices near where I live. So I started following you on social media from that point. We didn't sign up, so I didn't sign up as a parent for my little girl just because COVID hit.
Yeah.
And at that time, for my little girl, it wouldn't be right to start her into a new environment virtually, because I think at the time she was in reception, yeah. So she was
Wow.
so she was on,
Yeah.
and it just wouldn't have worked for us virtually at that time. So I decided not to enroll her into Little Voices lessons, but I kept you on my social media, so every now and then you'd pop up.
How amazing. That's incredible. And there might be loads of parents like you. You know, sometimes I think we're just scrolling and we see things that does and follow for a while and have to build up a bit of a picture about who these people are. I think other people are sort of really heavily searching for a specific thing. So maybe they're going to Google and looking for singing lessons or drama lessons. But, you know, often when you see it on social media, it's just something that spikes your interest and just follow it for a while, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a powerful tool for that reason.
Yeah, it really is. So you and your daughter, so COVID hit, got over COVID, and then next news, we're having a chat and you're talking about having your own location.
Yeah.
So how did that even happen? Where did your head go?
So it was this time last year, actually, Jane. It was, well, October last year. So I guess, you know, personally, the winter blues were setting in. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that can relate that that's creeping upon us at the moment. So yeah, this time last year, I kind of just had a little wobble, if you will, in my personal life, in terms of I was turning 38 this year, so in 2022. So I thought, okay, in a couple of years, I'm going to be 40. I was really unhappy in what was my career. And I just kind of sat and thought, what am I doing? You know, potentially I could be working for another 40 years, you know, who knows? And I can't continue to do it in an environment that isn't fulfilling me anymore. And performing arts, musical theatre has always been my bread and butter, and I do believe it's in my blood as well. My dad's a musician, my dad's a drummer. You know, so I've been brought up listening to all sorts of music, going to all sorts of concerts and the theatre. I'm very fortunate that that was my childhood. So it's always been a part of me. I just kind of fallen off that path, if you will, once I graduated from university and ended up in a corporate career. So this time last year, I was having all these thoughts in my head, and what pops up on my Instagram was an ad from Little Voices for franchisees, and I thought, I can do that.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's incredible. So let's just dig a bit deeper about that performing arts for you as a child. Where did you go? What did you do? What was you know, you went every single week. You know, our children come to Little Voices and they come every single week, and I can't believe it. Like, you know, tell me about what that was for in childhood for you. And what
Yeah. Oh gosh, it was everything. It was everything to me. I was that child that was desperate to get out of school to go to my lessons, and my mum would pick me up. Gosh, from memory, it felt like it was 5 days a week, but I'm not sure if it was. I think maybe 3 is more realistic. And she picked me up, and I lived in Leyland at the time, and my mum used to drive me to Blackpool to go to my stage school.
And for anyone knowing that 40-minute drive, probably an hour in bad traffic.
Yeah.
In the winter nights. So it's a massive commitment from a parent, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, huge. Do you know something? And I cannot, you know, I do believe that it's only now that I'm a parent that I truly appreciate what that was and what she did for me. Yeah, so I was desperate to get out of school. I was desperate to finish school as well, finish high school, so that could be my full-time thing that all my time went into. And I won't lie, in the younger years, probably primary school, the other things had come up. You know, my friends had maybe start horse riding or brownies or gymnastics, and I'd say, mummy, please, can I join brownies? And she'd say, yeah, sure, baby, but you're going to have to stop going to your stage school. And then I go, nah. I don't want it that badly enough. It was just because my friend, it was the latest thing with my friend. So she was, you know, because everything went into it for me, you know, from my parents' perspective, financially, time, energy, everything. So, you know, as a child, I didn't appreciate that. But when she gave me the choice, I was never, ever willing to give it up for something else that had maybe popped into my head as a little bright idea. I never wanted to walk away from it.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. So let's fast forward a little bit. So obviously you did qualifications, exams in dance, all those different things, push your comfort zones. And then you have to suddenly become an adult and the world. So what happened then? Because obviously your direction went into a corporate field.
Yeah.
I guess that causes a bit of conflict, doesn't it, inside you, because you love something so much.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I don't know the honest reason why I didn't pursue performing arts, dance, stage school at that time. I was probably, I started university when I was 21. So I decided to finish my dance college, my stage college, and go and get a degree in events management randomly. No, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I just remember going to an open day at the university, and actually at the time I was thinking, I was classed, you know, as an adult student because I was 21, and most people finish uni at 21, but I was starting, and I was looking at either events management or HR. Looking back, I think I was maybe more pulled towards just being surrounded by people in those two kind of fields. It was the people aspect, because that's what I buzz off being around people. That's, you know, my spark as well. That's what gets me going and bouncing those ideas and all that type of thing. So I think I was potentially pulled towards those two specialisms because of the people element. And I chose event management over HR at the time because the university I was looking at, the HR degree was 4 years and you had to do a year's placement.
Right.
So event management was 3 years. And at the time, because I felt I was old, oh my goodness,
Oh my God.
I could go back in time and give myself a little shake. But at the time I thought, I can't possibly have an extra year, you know, at university. I need to start earning decent money, you know, and get myself into a big company. And I don't know if that was maybe society at the time as well, in terms of my, you know, my age group at that time, that it was all about getting the job, you know, for the big company, and that I was swayed by that, I think. So yeah, I ended up in an event management degree, and oddly enough didn't actually pursue a career in event management, and my career was in HR, even though I didn't.
It was all the people. And
Yeah.
let's look at those two things. Hi for anyone joining us. Lovely to see some of our teachers on here, and different parents and people watching. Thank you so much. We're just doing Franchise Friday, chatting to Alison, who's recently joined our network, and talking about her background. So what is even more oddly enough is you've then got events management, which is highly organised, efficiency, plan, strategy, all of that, and putting it into place. You've got your people's element from HR. You've got your performing arts element from your background as being a child, and now they're all merged into one.
Yeah.
Running Little Voices.
Yeah.
Literally, you couldn't write it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Jane. And do you know something? I hear my mum's voice in my head. She used to say to me, and you know, family members that would be asking when I was growing up, you know, how it was going, and my mum used to say, you know, it's not about Alison ending up on the stage. It's not about that. It's about all the other skills that she is getting from being in this environment. And I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that me being in a position, or my parents being in a position to be able to take me and sacrifice everything they did, has made me the person that I am today. Did I end up on the West End stage? No. But you know, here I am, and I absolutely love what I do. And it's just, I genuinely believe it's made me who I am from being in that environment, being in performing arts and dance and theatre school. It's just it's in my bones now.
Yeah, it's in your blood and your bones. And it's interesting. You make me feel up. I was crying yesterday on the radio, crying again today with like little tears. And my voice is pretty shot at because I also did some teaching last night to help somebody out as well. So my voice is like, but it's all that we were talking on the radio yesterday. It's all the skills that performing arts lessons give children. You know, we're here doing a video, looking at each other, eye contact, presenting ourselves, you know, thinking on the spot. We've not prepped these questions, have we? I'm just having anything could come up, and hopefully it's interesting for those that listen to it or listen back to it. But it's just that confidence to be able to have that conversation, to present yourself, to give eye contact, to do, you know, in any role that you go into in a job. The performing arts gives you that basis. It's about singing and dancing and acting on a stage.
No, absolutely. I was in HR for almost 12 years, and some of the situations that I've been in, you know, in terms of really difficult, challenging conversations, you know, that have pushed me, you know, emotionally and as well as intelligently in every way, but all underpinned by those skills, Jane, all underpinned by the skills that I learned as a child and a young adult, you know, about being pushed outside of my comfort zone, walking into a room. I changed schools twice as well in terms of performing arts schools, and my last one that I ended up at I started there when I was 11, so I just started high school as well, which you'll know with your live is, you know, really pivotal point, isn't it, as a child growing up. So my point being, even experiencing that momentous change of changing primary school, changing my you know, my extra curriculum school as well with the performing arts, those are massive things that we all experience as an adult, and going through that and making new friends and finding your place in that new school, and you know, everything. It's just, yeah, it's definitely made me who I am and underpinned, you know, all the jobs and roles that I've had in the last 12 years.
Yeah. And, you know, from a parent's point of view, sometimes parents will just see drama singing, or the school teacher might say, go and send your child to drama or performing arts, or try that. And they do think stage, sets,
Mm.
live performance, theatrical
Yeah,
performance. And actually, there's so many more underpinning transferable skills that come from that.
yeah,
I believe wholeheartedly that it's as important as learning to swim.
yeah,
So, you know, we put all of our children through learning to swim because it's a life skill and it'll save their life. And I really believe that performing arts, drama, and singing will help a child navigate life more
yeah,
successfully. Which I guess brings us on to, you know, everybody's talking about mental health. In fact, if I see another post about it, or, you know, an article about it, it's hot topic, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely.
Epidemic. But for me, we've really always touched on mental health, really, in inverted commas, your top 5 a day for keeping well within our lesson structure. You know, that chance to talk to each other, talk about how you're feeling, how your emotions are. You know, we have that really special 5 minutes at the beginning of our lessons that's that bonding time for the group and the teacher.
Yeah,
Actually. You know, it's fantastic. And, you know, reflecting in the last 5 minutes, reflecting back on what they've learned that lesson and how they can improve, and that reflection time, that time out, time with friends, movement. You know, we've always done all of that. But I think the one thing that, you know, I hear a lot of people banding about, oh, I might have anxiety, I've got anxiety. Not everybody has full-blown anxiety. And actually, anxiety in the arts, or nerves, as I would term it, actually can be a really positive thing. And we should be building children up with resilience to that,
absolutely.
which I think the arts can do as well. So, as well as being a life skill and being as important as learning to swim, I think that that whole mental health, well-being, friendship, empathy, talking about feelings, that whole piece is really important too. But definitely the nerves.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think just a little reminder popped into my head then when you were speaking, Jane, about that. My little girl, well, she's 7 now, nearly 8, going on 18. Um, she had a dance exam just a couple of weeks ago, and she had a normal lessons, and then I was picking her up. There was an hour in between, and then she was going back for one of her exams. And in the break, she said, Mummy, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous that I'm not good enough. And I said, oh, baby. I said, okay. I said, let's close our eyes. So we closed our eyes for a minute, and I said, you are good enough. You are good enough. Nerves are good as long as we channel them in the right way.
Yeah.
Nerves just show that you care. They
Mm.
just show that you care and you want to do a good job and you want to get it right. So it's how we channel those nerves. So I said, close your eyes. So she closed her eyes for me. And I said, now I want you to say, I am good enough. And at first she was like, no, Mummy, I'm not doing that. I said, say it, baby. I said, say, I am good enough. So she did. And then in the end, we're shouting in the street, I am good enough. You know, and she was fine then, and she waltzed in, and when I picked her up, she came out with the biggest smile on her face. And as a parent, that's all I can go off. And I know there'll be many, you know, many parents out there that can relate with that. Quite often my little girl will come out of school and be like, how's it gone, baby? What have you done today? I can't remember. Okay, great, you've just walked out the door, but
Yeah.
I can gauge how it's gone by the smile on her face, you know, and her energy, and where, you know, her aura, where she's at. And yeah, I do believe that our children just absorb so much of that at Little Voices. And that's why I love what I do. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted this job. It's just
Yeah.
magical.
Well, that's an interesting one, because, you know, we'll lead on from that nerves into LAMDA exams. What we do, there's so many companies that you could have approached and researched, and you chose Little Voices, which I'm very honoured about. You know, it was an honour to have you as a franchisee and accept. I don't accept everybody. In fact, it's a very hard job getting rid of people that I don't want. You know, to put an interest in at that point, if that makes sense. I don't mean getting rid. That sounds awful. But just, you know, making someone understand in the discovery process of choosing Little Voices what it's going to be, what the reality is, and whether it's right for them. I mean, you know, that, and ensuring that, you know, they're right for us and we're right for them. So you chose Little Voices, and we don't do dance necessarily. We let dance schools get on and do what they're really good at with the body and the biology of the body. We do the voice, we do the singing, the acting, the life skills, and working towards LAMDA exams. So why did you choose that, and what do you believe is so strong about those LAMDA exams for children?
I think, well, just linking it back to what Jane, really, around the exams, it is a massive life skill. You know, whether we like it or not, growing up, we are put into those situations. You do have to take exams as early as primary school, don't you, in terms of the SATs, and then in the moment as well, it feels like your whole life depends on it, doesn't it, when you go through it as a child, whether that be at the end of primary school, because you've got, you know, the next adventure around going to high school, and then in high school, you know, you've got obviously exams to take, and that continues throughout your entire life, regardless of what career you decide to take. Even if you kind of strip away the word exam, I think from an interview perspective as well, is very much like going into an examination. You know, you're being scored, if you will, as an adult from the minute you walk through that door for that job interview. So whether you can present yourself, you know, in every way, the way that you stand, your posture, everything, projecting your voice, all those things that I think we all do actually day to day without even realizing it. And I just feel that it's so super special what we do in terms of making that really secure, nurturing, comfortable, if that's the right word, environment for our children to experience those life skills at such an early age. You know, and every child gets that opportunity. And I think to be able to support a child from such an early age going into that environment, it's just setting them up in a good way for life, in my opinion. You know, and that I definitely wholeheartedly believe that it's supporting my little girl, my daughter. Like I said, she's 7, nearly 8 now, and you know, she's so much more confident than I was at that age. She's just, I watch her, you know, when we go into new environments with new people, and she's just like a pro. You know, she is. She's absolutely wonderful. And I look at her and I think, wow, you know, I wasn't as confident at that at her age. And I don't mean confidence as in like you were saying, the lights, the stage, the solo, the spotlight. I don't mean that. I think just being able to walk into a classroom full of new children, you know, is massive at that age, is absolutely massive. To be able to walk in independently, you know, introduce herself, say something about herself, like we were saying with our 5 minutes at the beginning where we do our news week. Tell us about yourself, tell us what you've done this week, tell us something exciting. You know, for a child to be able to do that is absolutely huge, and that's just one of the reasons I love Little Voices.
And also, like, you know, just meeting a friend for coffee and maybe introducing them to, maybe your child's never met your friend's children, but they just suddenly try and find common ground, and or chat to the adults really confidently, or a long lost auntie or uncle that you've not seen for years or pre-COVID, and suddenly they're like, oh hi, I'm Bonnie and nice to meet you. You know, it's just that confidence, it's that self-belief, to help them nurture that. It's really interesting. I was listening to my Liv yesterday on the radio, holding herself while this presenter was just firing questions at her. We hadn't prepped it. It was all just off the cuff. And she was just delivering these answers. And I was like, I couldn't really appreciate what that was at the time. And when I came out and everyone was sort of messaging and saying things, I was like, oh, wow, yeah. Those are the skills we also teach at Little Voices. Obviously, I know them, but you don't recognise them in your own child.
Yeah, exactly. And she was...
to a college interview and, you know, all of those kind of things. And teenagers go through massive amounts of change in themselves, in their friendships, the pressure on them for GCSEs and A levels.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Their personality, who they are, finding their own way in the world. And for those teenagers to stay with Little Voices and keep coming and, you know, keep driving through is just incredible. And we see them as teachers going on a development journey. They retract a little bit, they go into the shell a little bit, and then they come back out the other side if we can keep hold of them within Voices and our lessons. It's quite amazing to see. It really is. So, you know, we're nearly at the end of our half an hour. Tell me about where you're based, where people can find you, how they can follow you, and get to know you even more, and consider their children to you, or getting in touch to be a teacher with you, or, you know, because your energy is infectious, and you know, we're always wanting to grow our Little Voices family from pupils and parents and, you know, franchisees.
Yeah, so I'm based in central Manchester in Didsbury. At the Ivy Church on Ballamore Road on Wednesdays at the moment. We are going to be opening more evenings, but at the moment it's on a Wednesday from 4:30, our lessons. You can get in touch with me for all things Jane's just mentioned, whether it be lessons for your child or to find out more information, and also a teacher would be fabulous. So yeah, it's my Instagram is Little Voices Central Manchester. And my email address is littlevoices centralmanchester.org.uk. That's right, Jane, isn't it? I just had mind blank. Oh my goodness, Alison.
Fine. Yeah, so you can go to Alison's website, littlevoices.org.uk/Central Manchester, and her email address and telephone number is down the right hand side. Follow her on all the social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all of them. And thank you so much for giving up your time to chat.
Thank you for having me.
I think it's really insightful to see a little bit behind the people, not just, you know, a post and, you know, reading words, but everybody absorbs information differently. So actually having this live chat with you has been absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Bye. Okay, so now I always have the problem about how I turn the camera off, but I'll do my best. Central Manchester has left. That was a little interview with the wonderful Alison from Little Voices Central Manchester. Please follow her or get in touch if you just want to follow her journey and get to know her more, or you're considering lessons for your child, or even a teacher you know of that's moving to Manchester or based in Manchester that might want to get in touch. Good morning and have a happy Friday.